This is an emergency broadcast of the Uncovering Anomalies podcast. This is not a drill. Remove any children and pets from your home and go to your nearest shelter. Remember to at all times listen to the Uncovering Anomalies podcast. And whatever you do, do not under any circumstances trust what you see.
How you doing?
I'm good. How's your weekend?
Good. I mean, uneventful. I just sat around, but that's kind of what made it nice. It's nice to just
That's
relax.
cool. Did you
time.
read, catch up on stuff?
Yeah, I did.
That's awesome.
Got all
What are
my
you reading?
UFO research in.
Nice. That's always fun. The mysterious world.
Mm-hmm.
The mysterious unknown world. You know, it's like we've been programmed to just love it.
What do you say that?
I don't know. I think I don't see any other animals really pondering the mysteries of the universe. They kind of see something weird and they're like, oh, that's strange, and they keep going.
Well, it's because, sorry.
We go, oh, that's strange. What the hell is that? I'm going to spend the rest of my life on trying to understand it.
Well, our brains are a little bit more developed. We have all of our, eat and shelter. I mean, the most, humankind as a whole has, food and shelter and the reproduction part pretty much down at this point.
True. It's not a problem.
Animals have to survive every single day, so they haven't evolved,
every single
to assess
hour.
their environment. And
could you imagine that? Always being stressed out about the weather, about when your next meal is going to be, like constantly stressed out.
Well, yeah, I know, right? not having any idea what the next day is going to hold, or the next hour, for that matter.
Actually, think about that. It's funny when lions and big cats, when they get their prey, they do relax. Like, oh, all right, I'm going to relax now.
Oh, yeah.
Until it's time to stress out.
Yeah, it's great. How was your weekend, man?
It was good. It was a birthday party at my brother's on Friday, so
cool.
We had that. Yesterday, I just chilled, man. I grilled out because we didn't have anything to do, really, so I got some kebabs and stuff like that. And it's the first time, actually, that I got it already made from the butcher. Because usually I do all that, but it was because skewers are so annoying because if you don't do it right, when you flip him, it flips with you, right? Mm-hmm. So some things I just leave it up to the experts. So I got them all ready made and it was perfect. So easy, man.
Nice.
Much easier, yeah. So that's all.
Oh, very cool. Very
Getting
cool.
ready for Monday. You? Did you start already? Or are you starting tomorrow?
Nope. I just finished my first week back.
Oh, okay. And?
Yeah, it was good stuff. I mean, uneventful, but that's good.
Mm.
It was good to get back in the swing of things without anything being too high stress. You know what I mean?
That's good, especially if you were gone for about a month, right? I mean, so there wasn't too much to catch up for. Month and a half. Wow.
Yeah.
Wasn't too much to catch up on, though, right?
No. Well, we were obviously, not to toot my own horn, but without me there, the department I work in was pretty far behind.
Of course.
So I put in some overtime and got us all caught up on
nice.
On my
Perfect.
end.
All right,
yeah. Everyone was pretty pleased about that.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
A month and a half's work in like a week.
Yeah. Well, obviously, they did as much as they could without me there.
Of course.
But there was still some leftover. But yeah, no, it was good.
I mean, it's tough when an organization loses, someone who's productive and does a lot of work instead of just, obviously you don't just waste your time. You actually do produce. And there's the proof right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was real good to be back. I was I know I told you I took those few days off in between, rehab and then going back to work. And, I did stuff, but I was kind of losing my mind. Just, I was talking to doctors and going to meetings and stuff. But the whole sitting around and kind of waiting for work to start was driving me nuts. So it was good to get back on a regular schedule.
Nice. Yeah, exactly. That's good to have. But and the weekends, you did okay? Did you go any meetings?
I did yesterday morning. It was just over Zoom.
They do that now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Makes it easier than trying to find a place to rent out and pay money for it and get coffee, and right?
I get the feeling that a lot of that kind of thing is volunteered.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like a lot of the meetings I've been to are in churches or like
right.
And I don't get the feeling they're renting out the spot. I think that's more
it's free.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know that for sure, but I get the
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially, and the coffee, someone probably brings the coffee, or it's
Mhm.
donated.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. The cigarettes you have to pay for, though.
Oh yeah, of course. Man, where can you smoke in this state? You can't.
Oh no, you can. It's outside.
Yeah, so even outside, but I mean, like even like our apartment complex, we have to leave the premises. We can't
It's the same.
be on premises.
It's the same for us. Yeah. Okay.
All right,
So
cool. I
anyway,
like this system of us sending stuff. I mean, I have them opened up on tabs if you want to go one by one.
yeah,
But
we can do that. A lot. It's so funny. I would find something. The guy on the hang glider who had that
oh yeah, that was the
right by
most
him.
recent one. So
I was gonna
that
send that to you. And then you like maybe 15 minutes later sent that to. I was like, damn it.
Oh, cool. All right. So you probably saw on Reddit.
Yes. Yeah, that's where I get all my information is on Reddit.
And then I'm on Twitter and my feed. Actually, my Google feed gives me some good stuff now. Wait a minute. Where did I send that to you? Did I send it?
In Signal.
Story. Oh yeah, this one. All right. But yeah, I mean, there's been some weird stuff this month, this week. There's an old one I sent you, one of my favorite ones. Did you see that one, the pancakes?
No. I thought you were talking about the the lady.
Oh yeah, that's another rabbit hole. But no, there's one from the 60s about this guy, this farmer. Man claims aliens gave him pancakes after UFO landed in his back garden.
Oh, you didn't send me that one.
I did. Yeah, it's a Project Blue Book one here. Let me resend it. Or
no, I didn't get that one.
No way, because I did open it up from Signal, but it's from the 60s. Here it is. So you can see it.
Oh, I wasn't looking back far enough. Okay.
Oh yeah. So chicken farmer Joe Simonson claimed he was visited by aliens at around 11 a.m. on April 18th, 1961, and that they served him intergalactic pancakes. He was 60 at the time of the alleged encounter. Was visited at his farm in Eagle River. Okay. Now, of course, people in the comments are like, this guy's a nutter, or he's crazy. But, it was a complete U.S. Air Force investigation. They sent a whole team over there. They dissected the pancakes. They met with the guy. They interviewed him. And
they allowed him to keep the pancakes, though.
They took some for analysis, and then he kept some. It looks so weird.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture now. They don't look like pancakes for our listeners. It's a very
sugar
it's
thing,
hard.
Right?
It looks more like kind of a wafer.
Yeah, like a wafer. That's a much better way to put it. And like a sugar wafer too. Like it's like melted sugar.
Yeah, it's like it looks. Just from the angle of the photo, it's hard to tell, but it looks thin. And it's not like, you know how when I say waffle, everyone's gonna get the wrong
it's like
idea.
European waffles.
And those are like evenly distributed little square divots in the actual dough. But this is a lot of small circles all packed together, kind of. There's no rhyme or reason to it, as far as I can tell.
So an Air Force report of the incident states, quote, looking into the saucer, he saw a man cooking on some kind of flameless cooking appliance. The chef, who had red stripes on the pants, gave Simonton 4 hot cookies of about 7.5 centimeters in diameter with small holes. And like pancakes themselves, he took one of the pancakes away for government analysis at the Air Force Technical Intelligence Center. They found them to be made from flour, sugar, and grease. In a book which investigates the incidents called the W Files, True Reports of Wisconsin's Unexplained Phenomenon by Jay Wraith, the author writes, it was rumored, however, that the wheat in the pancake was of an unknown type.
But still wheat.
It's still wheat. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. So like another civilization here.
But this is one of the things that I love about UFOs and alien encounters in general is that they're clearly trying to one of the theories I've heard that I tend to think is the case is they're trying to get us humans to really overthink, or think more about our reality and the nature of reality. And that's why they do all this weird stuff, serve us pancakes and yada, yada, yada.
So weird.
Because it gets people, because you ask why.
Yeah.
And that's the most important, intelligent question about the how, what, where, when, why, and how.
Yeah.
Y shows the most intelligence.
But so apparently they wanted water, and that's why they gave him the pancakes. They wanted him to fill up some water tank that they had. So he went in, filled it up, and they gave him the pancakes.
What a trade.
I know, right? And then they just took off. So weird, dude. It's like they know who they can land, whose garden they can land on, who's not gonna be scared, who's gonna, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They could have landed on anyone else who probably would have shot them.
Well, and people have. There was that guy, I think it was in the 60s. He had that weird experience where people tend to think, or the theory was, you've probably heard this one. It's a pretty famous case. I don't remember his name, but it's the guy who it turns out the quote unquote debunking of it was that he shot a bunch of owls in his backyard, but he would they were like little monkey owl things, and he'd shoot them and they'd bounce all over the place, and it was like it's just weird stuff like that.
It was the family though, right? Him and the family.
Yeah, the dad went outside, but the whole family saw though. Yeah, very. Again, it's just one of those things that they make you question reality.
Yeah, they were like gremlins or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, like these weird green-looking things, and the guns didn't work on them, and they would just disappear.
Yeah, it was a very bizarre situation.
But it definitely something happened because they were freaking out. There were shots everywhere when people investigated. I mean, they said something serious happened here. It's not like they all hallucinated. I mean, they could have all hallucinated something.
I hear the term group hallucination thrown out a lot, and I don't think that's ever been a thing. I think that was completely made up.
Like a hysteria kind of thing.
I don't even think that's. I don't get it. Like, let's say I do drugs and I start to hallucinate. The person next to me isn't going to start hallucinating because I'm on drugs. That doesn't make any sense.
Nope, it doesn't make any sense. Even if you're on the same drug, you guys will hallucinate something different.
Right, because everyone's brain chemistry is different.
Right, exactly.
That's why
it filters through your experience and through your lens.
I think mass hallucination, whatever.
Hallucination.
Thank you. I think that's a term that the CIA made up in the 60s or something. Just like the term conspiracy theorist was created after JFK.
Oh, they love that.
So you can label someone or label a thing something to completely discredit whatever happened.
Just dismiss them. You're a conspiracy theorist. I mean,
exactly.
Even people who are into this still to this day can say, I'm not really a conspiracist. I mean, what does that mean, dude?
It's the same thing. It's because they did such a good job with the PSYOP. It's the same thing when you talk about vaccination. People, you have to say, I'm not an anti-vaxxer.
Right, I'm not.
Before you have any criticism about the COVID vaccination. It's because they've trained us so well to, once you hear the word anti-vaxxer, you go, oh, this person's an idiot or something, whatever they want you to think.
Give it a name. It works. They did it with 9/11 truthers, and then
exactly.
they always give it a name like that.
That's what's so frustrating. Like the term 9/11 truther is so funny to me because, oh, you want to know the truth? Oh, you're such an idiot. I'm like, what?
You moron. You want to know the truth.
Yeah.
How dare you question?
Yeah, exactly.
So
stupid. Get in line, get in your pen, or, where all of society is going to ridicule you.
Well, also, I did send you that stunning admission. Pentagon admits it has been testing wreckage from UFO crashes and findings may change our lives forever, experts say.
Well, now here's one of my beefs. Another thing with journalism. I hate the term experts say.
Experts say.
Because that means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead. You want to talk about that one real quick? Did you send that?
Yeah. So, yes, I did. The Pentagon has admitted to holding and testing wreckage from UFO crashes in a bombshell Freedom of Information letter shared with The Sun. Researcher Anthony Bragalia wrote to the Defense Intelligence Agency. He requested details, right? In response, shared with The Sun, the DIA released 154 pages of test results that includes reports on a mysterious, quote, memory metal, close quote, called nitinol, which remembers its original shape when folded. What is that? What's that? That's Roswell, guys.
I was just about to say that was exactly what people were reporting at Roswell.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So Bragalia said it was a stunning admission from the U.S. government, and the documents reveal that some of the retrieved debris possesses extraordinary capabilities, including the potential to make things invisible or even slow down the speed of light.
Yeah, now that would change.
What?
If you can change physics, which is supposed to be, intergalactic law, essentially, something that cannot be altered.
Right. Yeah,
that
exactly.
Would that would completely fuck everything up for everybody.
For everybody.
That proves that it's not in fact law, or that our reality again is malleable.
Dude, the metal slowed down the speed of light.
Right. So one of our earlier episodes, I mentioned a book, The Three Body Problem. Again, I know it's fiction.
I have it on my thing. I think I started listening to it.
Okay.
I just do it at night, so I probably fall asleep. I
Right.
bought it, actually. I have it on Audible.
Well, then I won't. There is a concept.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I don't want to spoil anything.
No, we'll put an Amazon link in the, in the description.
Well, it's in like book 2 or 3. They really dive into this, but essentially, no. See, I'll spoil the whole trilogy if I go into what I'm saying. But there's a concept similar to this that is a theme.
Well, you're gonna have to do it then later on. Maybe not this one, but at some point you're gonna have to. It's okay to speak about it, right? I mean, just tell when people.
I'll give our listeners another 10 years to read the books, and then we'll talk about it.
I mean, if it's Audible, it's really easy, right? In the car, in the bathroom.
I listen to it at work and when I'm working out too. Yeah, because my job involves sitting at a desk unbothered for long periods of time.
Me too. I know I got a standing desk now, but I'm the same as you. I listen to podcasts, news podcasts and stuff like that. But same thing. It's just monotonous. We're copy paste. Do this, do that.
Yeah. It's really really sad. I don't know, sad. It's just the nature of our society, the way it's grown, is that we're not hunter-gatherers anymore. And I think that's why people tend to go nuts, or why we have so many crazy mental issues. It's because not that long ago, in the scheme of things, we were the animals struggling to survive, like we talked about earlier, where we had to figure out how we were to survive the next day, how we were going to feed our little tribe. And now that's all kind of taken care of. And now we're sitting at computers and desks in front of TVs, and we as human animals are just not built to do that.
Yeah, I mean, this metal is just so crazy when you keep reading. They are emitting information on the chemical and elemental composition of the material as well as its origin. They have omitted the names of the involved scientists as well, but I have since learned some of their names and will be contacting them. This Bergalia guy is saying. So he's going to contact these scientists that actually found out and named this metal called nitinol. Fascinating, man. We live in crazy times. I can't believe this stuff is actually happening.
Yeah, I know. It's great, man. It's absolutely fantastic that all this stuff is finally starting to come forward, slowly but surely. I guess it's
slowly but surely. And speaking of intelligence officers, Jeremy Corbell, of course, gave us a new leak. Our favorite guy. Very
cool. Very cool. We've talked about orbs, metallic orbs flying around before. We've talked about, and when I grew up, they were called Foo Fighters. I don't know why we're not still using that term.
Probably because the band.
Well, that's what the band is named after.
No, I know, but do you think that's why? Because they've just taken over when people search for Foo Fighters, they come up.
Very well could be. Kind of like why they changed UFOs to UAPs.
UAP, yeah.
But
even though Corbell's new show,
the podcast you're talking about.
Yeah, Weaponized, he calls it, of course.
Yeah, I don't think you or I are huge fans of his. He's a little bit. He obviously, I think, overall is a positive influence in the whole UFO discussion because he's bringing it to the mainstream.
Agreed.
Me personally, I'm just not a huge fan of how he is doing that. I don't like that he injects himself as like the star of everything that he brings forward.
He's such a narcissist.
Yeah, not a huge,
but to a fault.
Not a huge fan of that. I don't like how he threatens to jujitsu people at Q&As. Like
remember that
one we were at?
So I don't know if we told this story, but you and I went to go see the premiere of the Bob Lazar documentary by Jeremy Corbell.
Yes.
Right? And he said, and we were all excited about this, that at the end there'll be a Q&A with Lazar, and I think Knapp was there. Was it just Lazar?
There's George Knapp too, yeah.
And Knapp, so that's so cool. We got to see these guys. So we were all excited. He goes, just tweet us the questions and we'll ask Lazar. And this is, the guy's very shy. I was shocked that he was actually staying. So after the documentary, which was cool, I mean, we didn't like it because, one, all that stuff is found on the internet. He hardly brought anything new. There was like maybe 10 minutes of new material, 10 or 15 minutes. The rest was just, right?
I just to summarize, basically the whole documentary was just to establish that Bob Lazar is a truthful person. That's all really it was. Mm-hmm. They talked about his findings, and then they went into his background, which they didn't cover any of the juicy stuff.
No. Right.
All the stuff that makes people question Bob Lazar.
Right.
But basically the whole documentary was just Bob Lazar would say something about one of his discoveries or one of the things he brought to the public, and then there'd be a bunch of people talking about how Bob Lazar was the most honest, truthful person that they knew, and it was just kind of like, it wasn't great. And I had high hopes because the documentary he made about Skinwalker Ranch is one of my favorite things of all time.
Yep.
Yeah, but during go to talk a little bit about the Q&A.
Yeah, so the Q&A comes up, right? We're all excited. There's Lazar, there's Knapp. They're all sitting there. There's Corbell, and Corbell's going through his Twitter feed, and it just all of a sudden he just didn't like the questions. I guess maybe they were too pressing, maybe they're too harsh, maybe I think he read one question, right, and then goes, "All right, no, we're not going to do this anymore." Or he started getting upset at people's attitude, and then that's when he said he was going to jujitsu people, right, or something.
Yes. This is a few years ago now at this point. It's hard to remember. Yeah. He, instead of having like curated questions, they could have even and it's Twitter. No one gives a shit. They could have just made up questions, that they wanted, that they pretended they got just so they could answer them. Right. But they did, for some reason, they decided to do a live Q&A, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
It was a very fun experience, though.
I enjoyed it. There was other celebrities, UFO celebrities there.
Oh, that's something I wanted to mention. Yeah. When we got there, they had the press box. There's flashing cameras. It was it was like the Hollywood premiere of something. It was crazy.
It was crazy.
And the line went around the block. It was fun. Yeah.
They had these UFO guys, or I don't know what they were doing, selling stuff on the side, or selling their books, right, about Roswell. Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. So anyway, now he has and he's brought Lazar on Rogan, and he just takes over the show. So yes, overall he has a very positive influence, right, on this, but it's just always has to be about him is the issue.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's got a new show called Weaponized, because his thing is weaponize your curiosity, and he's part of this group that pushes the fear of this. That's a national security threat, and we need to take this thing seriously from that angle. Anyway, so yeah,
it's not a bad angle.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, of course, they're obviously not benevolent,
right?
Or mean, or evil either.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it's a benevolent or whatever the opposite. It's not a bad or good. I think it just like when humans are studying lab rats.
Malevolent.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, things can go wrong, things can go well, but that's not the end all be all goal. It's just more of trying to understand something.
Yeah,
that's all I think it is.
So I was a contractor in Iraq, and we've spoken about this before. Also, I saw two orbs. Well, me and my cousin did.
Glad you brought this up.
Almost fighting in the air. It looked like I was like, oh, these these two orbs trying to go around each other. I don't know what they were trying to do, but they were orb-like. And then this comes out of Mosul in Iraq, a security footage from one of our, I think, drones or whatever. Yeah. So another leak from the government. Very interesting.
Yeah. Well, once again, they're around a very volatile area. Volatile, I just mean there's a lot of conflict there.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe human suffering. Maybe they hear that,
yeah, if you want to dive into the psychic part of it, I mean, screw that. I forgot what I was going to say. I'm just saying, if there's a lot of energy coming from a group of people, I get the feeling that there's UFOs that are interested in that.
I mean, yeah, we see it happen, right? World War II, I think even World War I, Ukraine. There's a lot of this stuff going on now. Wherever there's violence or explosions or something like that, they show up.
Explosions, bodies of water, and then going back, I wanted to touch on why I kind of think the lab rats, aliens treat us like lab rats thing. Maybe that's why they're always picking up like random podunk people that have no interest in UFOs or aliens, because if they picked you or me up, we'd be too interested in the whole phenomenon, and that ruins the experiment. We couldn't be a objective witness, because we bring in our own thoughts and beliefs into it, and that's why they want people who either don't believe or usually just don't care, who have no opinion one way or the other.
Right, and there is a lot. It does seem to target those types of individuals.
Yeah.
And then those individuals become believers, and then they hardly have an experience after that.
Yeah.
I think.
I listened to a podcast about people who had been abducted by aliens and had supposedly been abducted by aliens and had sexual experiences with the aliens, and it was always it was just like you said, they had the experience, and maybe it was good, maybe it was bad, and then it never happens again.
Yeah, exactly. Never happens again. It's like a random thing.
Yeah.
But for some reason there's a lot of orbs being filmed. A lot of orbs. I sent you another video last week, I think, where that one that speeds up really quickly and.
I like that video. I don't know. This is the problem with being a believer. I've said it before. I'm not going to believe it until I hold one in my hands or am able to put my hands on it. Technology is so good these days. You can fake anything, and there's no verification process for anyone who puts anything up on Twitter. Oh, unless you count the fact checkers, but I don't think they're on UFO Twitter quite yet.
No, I mean, there are guys who are really good at taking videos and then putting filters, because you can't tell, right? Using filters if something's been doctored. So what about that orb from the hang glider, the one that went by really quick? And he thought it was some balloon.
Right. That was interesting. The problem, I like that video a lot. For those who haven't seen it, it's some guy who's hang gliding. So he says. I can't really see how otherwise you would lie about that, because clearly some person that's way up in the sky, they're filming the ground way below him, thousands of feet below him. He's really high up, and this black thing, it looks like the size of a, I don't know, I'm looking around my room. It wasn't very big. I would have guessed maybe. It's hard to tell from a video because I'll get into it.
Yeah, how far is it?
Exactly. This is what I would say. I would have guessed it looks like it goes right by him, and it's not that big, maybe 6 feet, like the size of a dresser, and it has a weird shape. It's not perfectly spherical. Mm-hmm. It's hard to describe the shape.
It's like what?
But he said he saw it coming from, in the video. He pans up, so you can really only see sky, so there's no point of reference, and this thing just zooms by him, and it seems really close. And he said the hang glider who took the video said he saw it coming from behind him. And it just blasts past him, and whoever edited it, could slowed it down so you can see a pretty clear picture of it. It's really hard to describe. It doesn't have any shape that's I can use as a point of reference.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's a very interesting video, and if you're hang gliding, I believe hang gliding, you're not going very fast, right? And it looks like he's kind of just he's just kind of slowing down, going slow up there. And this thing just flies past him.
Yeah, he thought it was going to crash into him.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you look at it, it's got a circle on the bottom, and then the top is like, it's got edges, but then it's round also on top. So yeah, very weird shape, going really fast. It looks metallic.
Yeah. It looks like it's black in color. Again, it's one of those things where, and this is what I was going to say, is you have no point of reference because of how this guy is filming it. It doesn't seem like it's a balloon because he wouldn't be going that fast, and this thing shoots by him really quickly from behind. It looks like it's to his right. It comes from behind him and goes past his right side, and it's only in frame for a split second.
Yeah, that's how fast it's going.
Very cool video. Again, there's no point of reference. You can't truly tell how big it is, but just based on how clear the video footage is, it does seem like it went close by.
Right.
Yeah, it was very, very cool video. I liked it a lot. And I mean, again, it's just one of those things, and maybe this is the whole point of the UFO phenomena. There's no way anyone can investigate this.
No. but it's finally clear stuff. We used to always make fun of it. We're like, it's always blurry, no one can see anything. Which is a good critique of usually videos and pictures. It's always something at night or blurry, so it's good that these kind of types of videos are coming out.
Yeah, lights in the sky footage is one of those things that it's so frustrating to see, because in person everyone goes, oh, it was doing this and that, and obviously when you pull out your little phone and try and film something in the night sky, it's not going to look like anything.
No. Even the moon, I can see the moon beautifully with my eyes, and my $1,000 stupid phone camera can't get what my eye can see.
Right.
Not yet, at least. Every single year, I'm waiting for it. It just never comes out.
The new iPhone 15 with a DSL camera.
Yeah. Have you seen these things now? They have like 6-8 lenses, and they're like,
I know.
What the hell? It looks like a spider.
Give it 10 years and the whole back of the camera or whole back of the phone is just going to be 1,000 little cameras on there.
I believe it.
Filmed in 6D. You can smell these photos.
Oh, yeah. I was speaking of Roswell, that Albert Einstein thing I sent you.
Let's talk about that.
So this is a great website too. It's a YouTube video, and he was sharing a video of something he found on UFOexplorations.com. Now, UFOexplorations.com, I checked it out, and it's all evidence about Roswell, and really good stuff, like really good evidence from the government, from government officials, from people who are involved. Like, it's really good. So one of these things that they had is Einstein's secretary. She was apparently they called on him when obviously you'd get you the best scientist in the country, right? Just like what the movies do, right? The government would go after the best scientists, the top scientists, to let them study what they think this is and what the implications are. So apparently Einstein was invited by the government during the Roswell crash, and his secretary went, and I guess she goes where he goes. She had security clearance and everything, and this was an interview with her. They taped her testimony in 2 parts in 1993, and it's hard to listen to because the audio is not too clear, but still, you can still listen to it.
Yeah, the audio wasn't bad.
Yeah, and she talks about bodies. She talks about a craft. She talks about, everything that we've come to know now of Roswell. But that's a really cool website. I will put it in the description so people can go and just look at these other articles that are on there. Really cool stuff.
But I listened to it. I listened to it. Very cool stuff. It seemed like they at least spoke to 1 or 2 actual entities.
That's right. Yes, and that too.
It was very. It kind of scared me because the question, she brought it up all nonchalant. Oh, they were asking about what hurt us and how our bodies.
How we get hurt, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How we die.
It's like, why would you ever answer that fucking question? Yeah. Don't answer that question.
Don't tell them how we die.
Yeah. I was just like, that. I mean, again, I try not to be skeptical about everything, but I swear, if there was any kind of military general involved in this process, he'd be like doing the thing behind you, going like the hands across the neck, like stop answering.
Yeah, exactly.
When they're like, oh, how do we kill you? And they're like, oh, it's super easy. There's 1,000 ways to do it. And he's like, no. But again, she mentioned, they were curious about our world, but they knew so much more than us. Like they were, but it's just like, you crashed here, buddy. Don't act all high and mighty. With all your technology and knowledge, you still crashed here.
But maybe I don't think she knew the technical details. There was some new radar being tested around that area because it was the first atomic bomb squadron, right? So they wanted to protect it, and apparently the radar was so powerful or something, it just knocked them down, and that's how these things were crashing.
Yeah, I have. I've heard that theory, and I think, boy, I don't know. I like it because the fact that we accidentally shut down a UFO would just be hysterical to me.
Yeah.
But boy, howdy, if we can knock down UFOs with radio waves, I don't know. Something doesn't. That dog don't hunt.
I mean, every species comes up with its own technologies, I believe. You know what I mean? So maybe they just didn't know. I mean, obviously we're different. They're
I guess
interested in us for a reason.
If you think about it, like if a species was they developed telecommunication, especially over long distances, where something like radio completely unnecessary. Maybe they wouldn't have any way to. They wouldn't know about that technology,
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. So a new way of communicating now. They're trying this, and the Chinese have done it. They've tested it out, which means we've done it like 30 years ago. But quantum communication.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember how big of a story that was.
Yeah, it's quantum entanglement, right? So if you change, if quantum entanglement says that two particles are created together or whatever, have the same spin. If you separate them, doesn't matter if they're a galaxy away. If you change one spin, the other one spin changes immediately. It's immediate, faster than the speed of light, whatever. It's like the fabric of the universe doesn't matter. So the Chinese tested this where they put one particle in orbit. In a satellite, and one down here, and they switched, and immediately the other one switched. So there you go.
Well, I thought they sent, it wasn't a huge, but they put some like a data packet. Like they were able to transfer some form of data from, I think it was there and back. I'm not positive. This was a few years ago now.
Okay.
But I thought they actually sent data. It wasn't just
actual data.
Yeah, I thought they did.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But anyway, it still worked. The experiment worked.
Yeah, absolutely fascinating. That's some like sci-fi movie bullshit that became reality.
It's so nuts. So yeah, you don't need radio waves. You don't need lasers. You don't need fiber optics. Even though apparently fiber optics did come from the Roswell crash.
Is that right?
Yes. Well, to General Corso in his book, The Day After Roswell, he said fiber optics came from that crash. What is it called? See in the dark technology. Those goggles that you see in the dark. So he said that came from that crash. Yeah, it's all in this book. And what they do with these crashes is that they feed this technology to the private sector that then invent things from it, this technology, and then they release it to the public.
Yeah, what's it called? Reverse engineering.
Yeah. So that's more Roswell news.
Yeah, let's move on to our next story here.
Is that Project Veritas? That came out yesterday.
Yeah, let's save that one.
All right. NASA and DARPA planning.
Yeah, I was going to say we could talk about that one.
All right. So I know that this technology has been around since the 60s, and it went black. All right. They hit it in the 60s. So now it has been revived. So NASA and DARPA plan to test a nuclear-powered rocket that could take humans to Mars in record time. 45
days is what they're saying.
Yeah, 45 days. Exactly. The space agency aims to put humans on Mars for the first time by the late 2030s. Now, if it's nuclear energy, we are getting into another realm now of propellers. I mean, if it went dark in the 60s, there's something really hectic about nuclear rockets and nuclear fuel in general, because it can also make an electrical field, which, if you use it the right ways, you can float and use anti-gravity.
Yeah, I think it has probably something to do with the Cold War, de-armament. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what my theory is. I can't say for certain either way. That's just kind of what I thought.
Yeah, we want to keep stuff to ourselves too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here it is. Even in the article they say that. Sorry, it says nuclear thermal propulsion is not a new idea for rockets. The concept was first tested in the 60s.
In the 60s, yeah. It's a really cool thought. I don't know. Did you ever read or watch The Expanse? Read the books or watch the TV show?
I did start The Expanse. I remember now. Yeah, probably just a few episodes though. I never finished it.
The reason I'm bringing this up is because the whole series, it's not like sci-fi, like floaty. It's like it's true science fiction where there's actual science behind it, and so there's no like gravity machines. They're always in zero gravity if they're in space unless they're under thrust. All this stuff, but they have some of the ships, or I think maybe all of them. I can't remember. They're under nuclear power. That was the reason I was bringing this up. So it's not a far-fetched idea,
right?
and because we've had nuclear technology for many decades now,
so long,
we're actually going to start using it for something good for once. Because people don't like using nuclear power for energy. There was one incident that happened in Russia that everyone seems to have forgotten about. Just kidding.
Yeah.
That we might as well. We've got the technology. We might as well use it. So I'm happy, and hopefully NASA actually follows through.
Yeah, I think they will, because it's time. These private companies are doing better than NASA. They're launching their private astronauts into space, and NASA can't do it. So, they should be doing this.
I still remember seeing the pictures and videos of SpaceX linking up with the ISS, and how the difference in technology was just astounding.
All right, what do you think of this video that just showed up on UFO Twitter? And it's an orb again, but it's at night. It's in Sydney. Sydney's known to have weird. It's an apartment building in the sky. It's an orb. It stops. He zooms in, shaky a bit, and then it just takes off.
Now, see, this is the kind of video I like. Although there's a high, again, light in the sky is nothing. Wow, that is fast. I was going to say that very well could be a drone, and drone are pretty quick nowadays.
Can a drone go that fast? It could, right?
They're pretty quick, man. You should check out some drone videos. They can. It's cool. Again, it's nighttime. It's a light in the sky. Yeah, it flies right over a building, kind of slows down, and then it just zooms right off. It's pretty quick. Yeah, it stops completely, and then just zooms off. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good good video. That doesn't seem fake to me, but again, I struggle with lights in the sky videos because it could be anything.
I want to see some more stuff from Virginia. I mean, the one from Brazil. Apparently, there's some crazy stuff that's going to come out of there. Like real pictures, real videos of both the craft and the beings.
Are you talking about the crash that happened a few years ago?
Yeah, the one in Virginia,
got scrubbed.
Brazil. Yeah,
completely scrubbed. That was.
Is it scrubbed?
It was scrubbed It was scrubbed like a day after it happened.
Oh, you mean from official sources or something, right?
No. We've talked about this on the show.
On the internet.
Yes, and it wasn't reported on the news. There was that whole thing where helicopters.
Oh, that one. No, not that one. Not that one. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. The one that happened on Reddit too, and there was a crash. There was all those videos. Yeah, I remember that.
And then it's gone now. You can't even find those videos anymore.
Oh my god! I should have downloaded all of them. There were so many videos.
Yeah, there was a ton. I thought that's what you were talking about. I was like, no, so they're bringing that back.
It's the other one. No, it's the other one from '93. The one that with that documentary that we watched. The new documentary. About the Brazil crash. You don't remember with that being and the witnesses? He had like red eyes.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay, good. So they're actually doing some follow-up. That's the thing that UFO stories are always lacking. They never have any fucking follow-up.
Well, this guy, he's really good, the director. He's one who's pushing for it. He makes great movies. James Fox.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So, apparently there's something coming out of those from the Brazilian government.
Good. That's good here. I do like South America tends to be a little bit more open about the whole UFO things. And they, I think it was the 80s, they dedicated a ton of money to researching UFOs and stuff, which is great. I don't know what came of it.
Nothing as usual. Because if something does come out of it, they always just... some other agency comes up and go, oh, yeah, that was fake. Or, there's always some annoying.
The damn conspiracy theorists are at it again.
Yeah, exactly. Don't listen
all
to
of them
those
working
liars.
in government, elected officials.
This guy shared one, and I've seen this video before in the past. I never thought it was real. He's saying he thinks it's the best UFO video ever.
So this is so funny. Once again, our minds go in the same direction. I was on my phone looking for this while we were talking, because I really like this video. So again, so I'll describe the video, and some of you might have seen this. I think this was originally filmed in like 2008 or something. It clearly was filmed on a really shitty phone. It's someone who's in, God, you can see the camera's reflection now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah, you can see
like a big old camera.
Right.
Anyway, it's someone who's in an airplane. They're clearly, cruising altitude. They're way up in the sky, like 40,000, whatever. And this like weird, it looks like a classic saucer with a little dome on top, is floating right around outside the window, right by the wing. And God, I don't know. It looks, the problem is, and this is what I'm going into. The first footage, if we haven't seen it already, of a true UFO, everyone's going to go, "Oh, that's CGI," because it doesn't look real, because no one knows what UFOs are except from like TV and movies. Yeah.
That is our only reference point.
So this video's been floating around. I don't think it's ever been officially debunked. And it doesn't really do anything. It's just a 10-15 second clip. This saucer thing floating out around side, and it moves around the plane. There's obviously no means of propulsion that can be seen. And it's really close, really, really close to the plane. Like it looks like it might even be close enough to clip the wing if it wanted to.
Yeah, like why is it getting up to the wing like that?
Yeah, and it's just floating around, but the video is really blurry. It looks like it was filmed. You can see the reflection of the camera in the window. So it's an actual camera. I always thought it was like a flip phone or something, but it's really blurry. It's hard to see anything. It could be.
Oh, it's a detailed analysis. This guy's saying now.
Weird CGI.
A detailed analysis of the flyby UFO video shows passengers sitting in the cabin and hands holding the camera.
As in the reflection?
Yeah, as in the reflection.
Yeah. I don't see that. I all you can kind of see is like the rim of the, I don't know, the view, whatever wherever the picture is taken in the camera, you can see that circular part in the reflection. Anyway, that's a very cool video, but let's move on to our next story here.
Yeah, what do we have next?
I believe we're talking about Pfizer.
So that's a weird one, right? So they caught this guy as they usually do, but he's a director of research and development at Pfizer. He's pretty high up there. He's gay, so they had him on a date with another guy, and this guy started asking him. He was filming, and he was asking him questions about Pfizer and what they do, and he was pushing him. He was like, so do they do gain of function research? He goes, no, they do directed evolution. So he admitted that Pfizer does this just so they can sell more vaccines, right? So they can get ahead of it and design the vaccine for the next variant that they created. Yes.
Yeah. Well, what's so funny is this guy's going like, okay, you can't tell anyone this. You can't tell anyone this.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting story. I, of course, found it on Reddit. It was all over the subs that I frequent on Reddit. And, of course, if you are one of those people that just are on the popular subs like news or politics, you'll never find it because every time it gets posted, for some strange reason, it gets taken down.
Mm-hmm. YouTube takes it down.
And, yeah, I saw if you search for it on Google was doing that dumb thing where it'll give you some results and it'll say the results for this contain misinformation or is constantly changing or something like that. And so they don't give you the actual story behind it. Project Veritas, are they right-leaning on terms of political spectrum?
They are, they call them far right because they're for the Constitution and transparency. If you're for transparent, if you're against big government, you're far right, period.
Now this is actual journalism where you have a journalist find and vet their source. They found a guy who's high up at Pfizer, verified he was high up at Pfizer, pretended to be gay and go on a date with this guy, talk about it. And and of course the whole story gets labeled as misinformation because it doesn't go along with the narrative and it doesn't get touched by the big the news networks.
Even though it's true, and the guy freaked out when he got caught because what he usually does, this guy James O'Keefe, is that he shows up afterwards. He just sits down and goes, "Oh, is your name so and so, and you work for Pfizer? Did you just say this? We caught you on camera saying this." And he freaked out. He goes, "Wait a minute, is this real? Who are you guys?" And he starts calling the cops. He wanted to trap them. He tried to break the iPad they used to film him. He started saying that he lied just to impress his date. He goes, "Everyone does that, But if he did lie, he would have just said, "Yeah, I lied." He wouldn't have freaked out.
Yeah, I mean his reaction is something else. He clearly knows he's in deep shit.
Yeah, and it sucks, man. It's just whatever we've been saying turns out to be true.
Yep, every time.
What people are saying though that they're upset about is that they're scapegoating Big Pharma when we know who the problem is. It's the DoD and the ones who give them cover and funding.
Yeah. And Big Pharma is definitely on our side all the time.
Yeah, all the time. What happened to the Democrats who are against big business?
I love it. We've done a complete flip.
Yeah.
I remember I keep seeing this meme on Reddit. I gotta stop going on Reddit. I hate that.
No, man, it's good for information.
It's good. It's a good like news aggregator for all of your interests, which is why I like it. Anyway, it's a picture of the Harry Potter books. Side by side, and it says on the left left wing propaganda, and then on the right it says right wing propaganda. And it's the same series of books, right? Because everyone's like, oh, witchcraft, you can't teach kids witchcraft, and it was it was the very like cool anti-establishment thing to be into the Harry Potter books as kids, and now J.K. Rowling is a TERF, and so she's far right wing, lunatic. And it's just like, no, man. People just like kept their same beliefs from 20, 30 years ago because that's what you do.
Yeah.
And the whole spectrum has changed and flipped.
I mean, I don't know how I used to be on the left more, and now I'm on the right because just how things have changed so much.
How bizarre the left has gotten lately.
That's how, they've pushed everyone right because they've gone so crazy left.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's pushed far right. It's just, I think I've always kind of been right of center, libertarian. We've talked about this. I think we're both there. We're both small government. Government should
sound
be
money.
Yeah. Government should not be involved in about 90% of what they're involved in.
Right.
Let the people. Basically, my belief system comes down to, if you're not harming me or not infringing on my rights, do whatever. I honestly, if it doesn't affect me, why should I be up and why should I care about it?
Right.
Do what makes you happy, as long as it doesn't affect me or my family in like it doesn't take away our rights. I don't care if it offends me or whatever. That's fine.
Yeah.
Just do you. But the left has gone it's just gone further. They've gone further and further and further left. And so the center right now seems, radical right wing just compared to where they're at.
Yeah. And because they want to shove their beliefs into everyone's face. That's the problem.
Exactly.
It's like, go ahead, do your life, do what you do, maybe have it in universities and whatnot on TV shows and books, but don't start pushing this agenda like on kids.
Yeah, I do get that. It's indoctrination. So when they grow up, they vote a certain way.
Yeah.
But I hate the fact that they're always bringing kids into their political stuff. Kids who don't know any better.
Yeah. What is wrong with the innocence of children?
Yeah. I know. Yeah, it's just so frustrating.
Well, cool. I mean,
but going back, I don't understand right when how dumb people are. Do you remember? Okay, so COVID first started when Trump was in office, and Trump started Operation Warp Speed to get the vaccines out, and everyone on the left, from politicians to people, were going, I don't trust the vaccines, and that's Trump's vaccine. Why would I take that? And then 6 months later, it's, oh my God, Pfizer, you're saving us. Thank you, Big Pharma. And it's how do people not understand? It's the same fucking thing that they were so up in arms about 6 months before that. People are so fucking dumb.
So dumb, dude.
I just don't understand how you can watch the news and go, yep, I believe it.
They can't handle it. It's like they always say, they can't handle the truth.
Yeah. Oh my God. If I see another fucking article that says, and that's a good thing, inflation's at inflation's at an all-time high, and here's why that's a good thing. It's just like, no, you fucking. And then I don't like that they keep changing the meanings of words. Like inflation now, they keep saying, oh, this isn't inflation. The economy's not in shambles. Because we're changing the definition of words now. It's just like vaccine it used to mean a certain thing, and now it's completely changed. It's such a dumb to watch it happen in real time and to not be so to be a skeptic. It's absolutely fascinating in a macabre way to see how people are reacting to all this. I don't get it.
Me neither. And it should be insulting to these people, insulting to their intelligence. It's completely Orwellian to just go ahead and change. Like when Rand Paul was testing out or questioning Fauci, I mean, he would have his staff change the meaning of, like you said, a vaccine. Before the meetings or right after the meetings, just so he doesn't get in trouble. They changed the meaning of gain of function even.
Yes.
And Rand Paul caught them doing that. He goes, you can't just go in there and just change the meaning of gain of function and then come here and asking, no, what we were doing was not gain of function when it was before.
Yeah, I don't understand how we let these people get away with it. Well, it's because we've been so downtrodden. No one, I mean, truthfully, what it really takes is just, we need to bring back public squares and tar and feathering and putting people in stocks in the town center when they get caught. Politicians specifically, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If you are elected by a group of people and you are supposed to represent those group of people and you don't, that should be one of the most important jobs on the planet. And if you are lying and cheating and stealing and not doing the will of the people, you should go into the stocks.
Yeah, and that's the thing. These people are too protected. They're too immune. I don't care what that sounds like, but these people are supposed to be representing us. You know, they're representing us. It's always been that way since the founding of this country. The institutions are for the people. We're not for the institutions. They are for us.
Right. Absolutely. 100%. I feel people forget that. People forget that we don't work for the government. The government's supposed to work for us.
That's the deal. That's always been the deal in this country. Fine. Maybe other countries are different. Not here. This country was founded, for the people. There's a contract there.
For the people, by the people.
That limits it and say, this is what you're allowed to do. You're not allowed to do anything else without changing the Constitution, But bill after bill after bill, slowly, incrementally, over hundreds of years. Now look at them. $31 trillion in debt.
Oh, but debt means something else now.
Oh, does it?
No, I'm kidding.
I'm sure that'll be next.
Debt just
it's good for you.
Unrealized gains. So no, the government doesn't owe any money. We just haven't made that money yet.
Yeah, we're actually $30 trillion richer. Hello.
And here's why that's a good thing.
Oh man, it's such a mess. Such a mess.
It's such a farce. And I'm trying to be more positive and happy about, just one of the reasons I struggled with alcohol and all that is just because I get into this dark space in my head where it's like, what's my future entail? What's it hold? I'm looking around the world today. I'm just going like, there's nothing to really look forward to at this point. And so you get down in that headspace and you just get more negative and depressed and anxious. And that's where they want us to be. That's the trap. That's the trap that I didn't realize I was falling into.
Good for you.
When you see all these politicians and the evil shit that they do, it's so hard to stay, positive and focused on what makes you happy.
And they're panicking, because it's all collapsing and they're in it and they're part of it. And, for us, even if it collapses for us, it doesn't matter because we can rebuild. The old system will go back. We have a constitutional republic and we have a very big country, a rich country full of resources. So, if this garbage of the Federal Reserve and fake money and fake whatever collapses, it affects the people who are inside of it, which is the politicians and the contractors, whoever is like benefiting from it. For us, normal people, we can just rebuild, and that's the silver lining.
Yeah. Well, and oh my God. Sorry, I'm going to derail you in just a second.
No, yeah, that's fine.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Unidentified Uncovering Anomalies podcast. I'm Topher. That's Adam.
Hey, everyone.
You got to remind me.
You got to put this in the beginning. Oh, man. This is episode 8, I think.
Yeah. Thankfully, our intro does say what the name of the podcast is.
Sorry. This is episode 9.
And truthfully, if you have gotten this far and you clicked on the episode that said Uncovering Anomalies podcast and you still don't know what podcast you're listening to, well, man, you got some problems.
And I hope you guys are listening to the show and following us and giving us feedback.
Please do. Should we wrap it up, though? Or is there anything else you want to touch on?
No, I think that, that's a good point that we left it on. That it's not all doom and gloom. It's always something better. If something ends, there's a new beginning,
And again, remember that almost everyone you see around you, they're going through the same things you are. We're all fighting to survive here. It doesn't mean we have to fight each other. Be kind to one another. Yes. Realize, when someone cuts you off in traffic or someone, I don't know, infringes on you in any way, just remember they've got their own stuff going on. Maybe there's a very good reason that's happening. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're trying to spite you or something. And even if they do, it's not the end of the world. Usually, sometimes it is, and that sucks.
Right, and I do believe in karma. It might not be instant, but this is a mathematical universe. Equations have to even out. So
absolutely,
it's going to work out at the end.
Slowly but surely. And just remember, it's something we talked about in rehab all the time, is just one day at a time, one foot in front of the other. Progressive acts. Do the right thing, as much as you can. Stop and think if you have to. If you have to take an extra 5-10 seconds to come to a solution to something or make a decision, do that. It's not going to hurt anything waiting those 5 or 10 seconds, unless you're disarming a bomb that only has 3 seconds to blow up. Then you have to make a quick decision. But 5 or 10 seconds, just take a deep breath. Remember that whatever thing that you're worried about now, it's not going to kill you. It's not going to be the end of you.
Right.
And things do get better. Thank you all so much for listening to the Uncovering Anomalies podcast. I, of course, am Topher. That's Adam. We are so excited to bring all this content to you. If you've got any stories you'd like us to cover or things that we haven't talked about that you'd like to hear our thoughts on, hit us up. Hit us up on Twitter.
Hit us up on Twitter. You can send us an Gmail at uncoveringanomalies@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, any stories you guys want us to cover? If you have any footage even that we can, have a look at.
Yeah, definitely.
And get it out on social media.
And then, maybe down the road here, if you contact us and you have some interesting stories that you want to share, maybe something that happened to you or a family member that you know about, we could interview you. That's something I'd like to do.
Yeah.
Little fan outreach. That'd be great. So hit us up.
Hit us up. Well, we're always checking it. And see you guys on Twitter, I guess.
Yeah, you can follow me at uap.topher et al. At Twitter. I don't really post much on there, but I do check it in case people send me stuff. So go ahead and hit us up. And then where do we find you, Adam?
I'm also using Twitter. We're at UAP the podcast, so I'm on there sharing, commenting, retweeting stuff that's trending. Also, we're on Anchor.fm. We're on Spotify. I'm still scared of submitting to other podcast platforms because I don't want them deleting us.
We'll get there. Once we have enough episodes.
The good news is that we have the RSS feed anyway. So people that have, I think it's called Podcasting Addict. I use it too. It's really good. If you have the RSS feed, you can just plug that into your podcasting app and it works.
Fantastic.
So yeah, Podcasting Addict is great. So yeah, you guys can do that instead of just going to Spotify or Anchor.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week.
Nice.